Okay, this is going to be a lesson on how to write an effective book recommendation. This is something that I'll have the kids do periodically throughout the year. Our class is going to be the first one to do the book recommendation bulletin board in the hallway of one of the buildings. So I wanted to share with you my expectations, and this is something they're going to be finalizing very soon. So yesterday we talked about parts of a book recommendation, and we talked about it needs to have the title, it needs to have the author, the genre, and the genre of a book is what type of book is it. So if it's fiction, is it fantasy, is it a mystery story, is it realistic fiction, historical fiction, and so the children need to classify their book by its genre and also include the AR level. Then we talked about a recommendation for a book is kind of like a commercial for your book. And you want to pep it up, you want to get someone to fall in love with the book without knowing what happens in the end. And so you want to hook the reader, you want to hook the person that's going to be reading your book recommendation, and you want to leave them hanging. You want them to want more. You want them to go to the library and check it out. So there's two things that a recommendation also needs to have. A brief summary. You don't want to give away the end in a recommendation, but you want to make sure that you're giving them enough information to be able to kind of follow a basic storyline. You want to make sure include characters' names, the setting, so that they're not confused about who is in the story. The second thing is, why should someone read this book? So that could sound something like, I recommend this book because, or you should go and check this book out because, you would really enjoy it because. So some of those types of things. I'm going to read two book recommendations that I've written in the past, and I also read these to the kids. And so these are some expectations, these are some examples of what the kids could do. My first one's on Runaway Twin by Peg Carrot. It's an adventure or a mystery book, and it's an AR level 4.7. It reads, this story about separated twins will keep you on the edge of your seat. Teenager Sunny Skyland longs to be reunited with her twin sister Star. They were separated at the age of 3 after a horrible accident. After 10 years of being in foster homes, Sunny decides to begin a cross-country journey from Nebraska to Washington State to find her twin sister after she finds $800. Sunny's journey to find her sister does not go the way she planned. She faces bullies, hunger, and even brushes with death. Sunny comes to a point in her journey where she must decide the direction her life should take, and it is not an easy decision for her to make. So that's my basic summary that I made. I've left out the ending. I have left my reader hanging and wanting to know what kinds of bullies does she face? What are her brushes with death? Does she find her sister? What's the decision that she has to make in her life? So I've hooked my reader into wanting to know more. The second part is the recommendation. I recommend this book because it kept me and my students wanting to read more as the next hurdle in Sunny's journey appears. The suspense and action caused our entire class to never want to put it down. Read Runaway Twin to see if Sunny finds her sister and what direction Sunny decides to take in her life. It will be a life-changing decision. So that's my recommendation for why someone should check out this book. The other one that I did was on Out of My Mind by Sharon Draper. It's a realistic fiction story. In this book, Melody has a photographic memory. Her head is like a video camera that's always recording, but there's no delete button. She's the smartest kid in her whole school, but no one knows it. Most people don't think she's capable of learning, and her school days consist of listening to the same preschool level alphabet lessons again and again and again. If only she could speak up. If only she could tell people what she thinks and knows, but she can't. Melody suffers from cerebral palsy, a terrible disorder that affects her ability to talk, walk, or write. Being stuck in her own head is making Melody go out of her mind. That is, until she discovers something that will allow her to speak for the first time ever. At last, Melody has a voice, but not everyone around her is ready to hear it. I recommend this book because it is full of so many different emotions. There are moments of heartache, hope, and compassion. My class and I have been able to have many discussions about Melody's experiences and how we relate or imagine how we might feel in her situations. So this is, these are some examples of book recommendations. I hope this video was helpful to you, and I look forward to hearing all the students' book recommendations. And let me know if you have any questions, and thanks a lot.